So, as many of you know by now, a couple months ago, I bought this van, and my mom helped me out with it. I put down 5,000, and she put down 15,000 so that we could get the payments down, so that I could actually have money to like build out the van. And this was great, obviously, except for the fact that when I started talking about all the things that I wanted to do with the van, the windows, electricity, etc., my mom was like, yeah, you can't do any of that stuff yourself. She was really worried about it and she thought she was going to lose all her money, understandably. However, I had the goal of doing the build by myself, or at least anything that was possible for me to do myself. I knew that I could cut the windows, for example, and it turned into this huge argument. And over the past month, especially, it's been really stressful because I just kept showing her things that I had done to plan and, like minimize all of the possible risks, and she just wasn't having it. So I felt at first really hopeless. I didn't know what to do because I felt like if I took the van to a professional, first of all, it'd be expensive, and second of all, it would just be like, demoralizing because I knew that I could do it. Oh, the window shades are coming down. But anyway, so I posted this video about it, and the solution that I came up with was essentially that I was just going to do it anyways. My mom was going to go to Canada, and I just thought that I could do it while she went away, and then she would come back and everything would be fine, and she might be a little bit angry, but at the end of the day, the window would be installed and that would be it. And so what was she going to say about it? However, as the months started to go by, I realized I was really wasting a lot of time on my build, and so I wanted to do it at an earlier point, like if you just went on a hike, for the day or something like that. But it was a problem because I didn't know like what time she would get back, and I thought like she might get back and I'd be halfway done with the window, and then it would just be like World War III. So this is the drama that happens when you live with a parent. There are pros, you save a lot of money, but the cons are that it's a constant struggle for independence and self-worth and whatnot. So anyways, my mom finally went to Canada, and I had planned to do the window on a Wednesday, a couple days after she left, and this would have given me plenty of time, Oop, lights are going off. However, like it is today, it was threatening to rain, so I couldn't do it on that Wednesday, and so I had to wait till Saturday, the day when she was coming back, and this is the exact opposite of what you want for doing a van install, especially when you're cutting a $50,000 van, because you don't want to feel rushed, you don't want any pressure. But I just had to get it done because this was the only opportunity. So I did it. I cut the window, which you can see right there. It looked really good. It went well, and everything went to plan, and my mom got home late that night, so she didn't even see it. But then the next morning, I was like, Mom, I have to show you something, and it's out by the raspberry patch. And so we walk out, and she just sees the window, and she's like, oh, how did you get it up there by yourself? And I'm like, well, I just used suction grips. And she's like, oh, that was it. Like there was no argument, there was no drama. And part of me was like angry in a sense because I had like built up this whole thing of like I was going to have to justify myself, and because my mom had made a huge drama out of it. I mean, we had like shouting matches at each other over the fact of whether or not I was qualified to cut windows in my own van. And, so after all of that, to just have it just go like poof, and she's just like fine with it, was very strange. I'm not like ungrateful. Obviously, it's nice not to have drama. And now, sorry, the Amazon truck's backing up. They used to have that squawking noise, but now they've gone back to a normal sound, which I guess is good. Oh shit, there's the thunder. we've got Mother Nature and Amazon fighting to see who can be the most disruptive to this video. But anyway, so I have been thinking about making this video for a long time. The idea of ask forgiveness rather than permission, I think, is a really important concept in life, because there are a lot of situations where you have someone who is like limiting you from doing, or preventing you from doing something that you know that you need to do, that you know that you can do, and they're never going to give you permission, so sometimes you just have to go do it for yourself. So I thought that that was going to be the lesson for the video, or the thing that I learned, but actually it was something different, because I realized that because there was no blow-up argument, the thing that I should have done wasn't just doing the van window install without permission. It was that I should have done it a long time ago. Like I was looking at the situation as in like my mom was limiting me and preventing me from doing it because I couldn't do it without the time to get it done before she got back. But the thing I should have done is, like, the very first week I should have just gotten the windows ordered, and then I should have you know, made sure I was doing everything step by step correctly. And then even if she came back, like, as long as I had done a good job to whatever point I was at, you know, like if I was cutting the window, if the cut was clean, if everything was organized, you know, then that would have been fine. I think honestly it was just like that very first step of like the first cut, or even just starting the project. Honestly, I think, like, once she had seen my tools set up, I mean, what is she gonna say at that point? Is she gonna stop me, you know? So that to me is like the lesson. And when you feel like you have a limit that's holding you back, you kind of want to like step away from that and think about, how can I get this done right now? You know, what if all of the limitations and the excuses that I think that are in place actually just disappeared and I just got it done, you know? So anyways, the van is looking good. I mean, you can't see that much right now because it's cloudy and it's thundering and it's starting to rain. Actually, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put the tarp up. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. The wind was going crazy. I thought I was gonna lose the tarp off the top of the van. But yeah, like I said, the windows are looking really good. The van's coming together. I just made another order for 3 windows. There's gonna be window there, and they're gonna be Arctic Tern windows, so they like go out, and then they have this built-in system where you can pull down a shade for like privacy or night or whatever, or thermal insulation. And then they also have a pull-up mesh thing, so if you want to open the windows, then the bugs won't get in. And yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And then over there, there's going to be a bigger, same type of Arctic Tern mesh window. So yeah, that was really expensive. It was like $1,800. Yeah, I mean, I knew this was coming. I knew all of this was coming, but it is really overwhelming when you actually start paying for things in van life and you realize like how much it costs to do a good job. I mean, sure, you can do a budget build with a used van of high mileage and just like the lowest possible quality parts and stuff like that, but you know, you're gonna pay for it down the road. So I just want to make sure that I do everything right. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. But it's nice right now. It's pretty cozy sitting in the van. This is my first storm in the van, and I could really use a fan, and I could really use some vented windows. I've got the cargo door open right now, which is letting in a little bit of nice breeze, but it definitely can get pretty hot in here. So that's going to be one of the next steps. We're going to put the Max Air fan in up there. You can't see it, it's off camera, but then it's going to suck hot air out of the van and draw like cool air coming in from either side over there up out of the van. So it'll be much nicer in here. I might get a bug screen to put on the cargo door window. That could be kind of nice. We're gonna go to the Adirondacks. I don't know if I'm gonna take my van or not, but hopefully by that point it'll be October. I should have a lot of things in place. I'm gonna have a fireplace as well. It's gonna be like right down here by the cargo door. And then the chimney is gonna go out there. But overall, I'm just glad that things are generally going to plan, and it feels good to have set this huge goal of van life. I think, yeah, it was almost exactly a year ago that I said that I was going to buy the van, and then I bought the van, and I'm like well into the build now. So I think the goal is like by probably the end of October to have the van livable in, so that I have the desk in the back where, you know, I can do some work on the computer, and then have the walls over here finished so that I can film like some B-roll here and maybe some vloggy type content, and then go back into the house for other stuff if I have to. But yeah, I just want to be able to enjoy the van, and it is frustrating, like every time I do something, like the windows, you know, like the floor, there's going to be a lot of steps where like I'm improving the van and I get to enjoy seeing things come together, but still can't actually use the van. It sort of feels like ever since I pulled into the driveway, it's like I just own this giant hunk of metal, and it's like, well, here's this giant hunk of metal with a big cargo window, and it's like, okay, but it's still a hunk of metal. And it's like, here's this hunk of metal with 2 windows in the back. It's like, here's this hunk of metal with a floor. And it's kind of like the ship of Theseus, honestly, like the beginning build part of van life, because you're wondering at what point this thing turns into something else, you know, the thing that you want it to become. But yeah, if you have something in your life right now and you feel like you're limited by, I don't know, let me know in the comments and we'll see if we can find a creative solution to it. But thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.